Today I wanted to shoot a special video to dedicate to the children of the world and the children of the future, and especially to my son, Rocco, who's going to be 9 years old soon. I'm out at Tahunga Wash, which is a little preserve part of LA that is right off a major street off Sherman Oaks. And I'm bringing this film today to show my work for the children to make a difference. So we're going to take a little walk inside of this little gated area that is open to the public 7 days a week. And we're going to explain a little bit about the work that we do and why it's important. So I brought with me my favorite tool, which is my shovel, my little hand shovel. And I brought with me bags full of seeds to plant food. So now that I got my personal garden under control, I decided to take my leftover seeds and plant them out here in this public area, because right now there is not enough food accessible for everyone. And with all of this open space, I thought, what better idea than to come out here and to plant some seeds. You put one seed in the ground and it multiplies and becomes many seeds. So we have two different worlds. We have the natural world and we have the man-made world. When you put $1 in the bank, 10 years later you come back and you have the same dollar more than likely, and the dollar is worth substantially less because the money's always worth less. But exactly the opposite is true in nature. Whenever we plant seeds in the ground, they multiply and continue to multiply. So today we plant one seed, and let's say we're planting a pumpkin seed, and that pumpkin seed produces 10 pumpkins. And out of those 10 pumpkins, we get tens of thousands more seeds. And from those seeds, we can plant them in the ground and create many more pumpkins many times over the course of years, until we have pumpkin patches as far as the eye can see. So I like to spend a good portion of my time investing my time and my energy into things that produce great returns, and nature has outperformed every banker since the beginning of time. So anyways, we could get started here with our shovel. And I just came across a little spot here. It's sunny and this area is watered actually. So the plant has two of the basics that it needs for life, which is the same as us as human beings. First, we need fresh air, and this area has fresh air all blowing through it. We have a breeze coming from the ocean not too far away, and it's out here in open air, and the open air is filled with oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we exhale the carbon dioxide, and these plants feed off that and the water and the sunshine, and they grow. So right now we're gonna just dig a little hole here. This area looks a little dry. It's not the best area, so that's also to be considered when you're deciding what to plant, as certain plants like more sunshine and drier conditions or wetter conditions, for instance. So when I'm trying to pick out my seed, this area looks a little dry. And actually lemons have been known to be able to even be drought resistant, and this area does get watered, so it's not like it's not going to get watered at all. And it actually has rained quite a bit here in Southern California. So we're going to grab a lemon seed out of here, maybe even a couple. We'll just pour it in there. Oops, we got an apple seed mixed in there. We'll have to pull that out, and we'll save that one for another place. And we'll throw about 3 seeds in there. Even though lemon trees only need 1 seed to grow, we're just throwing in more than one just in case for some reason one of them decides not to grow. So we're just going to drop those there, cover up the pile, and we're going to move on with our tool and go to the next spot. So the one thing I wanted to go over with all the children is the difference between reality and make-believe. And that's one thing that you have to really get right in your lifetime, because believing things to be true that are not true is very damaging, and not knowing the truth can be very damaging. So we want to align our thoughts and our actions with what is objectively true, and we can do that by studying nature. So we see we have the sky and we have the stars, which are in perfect mathematical alignment. They move according to a schedule that we can calculate, and it's very exact. And all of nature, if you look around, all the trees, they're very exact. They start with the seed, and that's the spark of life, and the seed has within it the information to grow it and to make it manifest into a full tree. And that's the same that's true about human beings, is within us, within our souls, within our hearts, is what we are to become, our purpose. We know, and nothing from the outside can help us become what we are to become. We're only supposed to nourish the soil and let the tree be itself. So if you look at a lemon tree, for instance, a lemon tree, I can't make any seed become a lemon tree and cause it to grow from nothing. But what I can do as a human being is I can take a lemon seed that has the information, I can provide it soil, sunlight, water, and space, and the seed grows up on its own. So that's how parents are with children too. We don't have all the answers for you because it's within your own heart and soul. But what we're trying to do is nourish the soil, give you the proper space, which really is freedom to express yourself, to speak your mind, to think your own thoughts, and to claim your sovereignty. And to explain what sovereignty is, it's the idea that you get to make up your mind. So when someone gives you a problem and they say the answer could be A, B, C, or D, you make up your mind, and from what you've learned and studied, and you get to decide what is the most truthful answer. And it's important to figure out truth, because that is the wealth of internal knowledge. The amount of truth you can gather and grasp in your lifetime is your treasure, because the truth has been the truth since the beginning of time, and it will always be true. So in this life, we're on a soul journey for our souls to understand what life is all about better. So we don't want to spend too much time learning things that aren't true about what life's all about, because then it just wastes our time and our experience here on earth. So we want to get down to the truth very quickly, and the truth is always seen in nature. And that's how, even in times where adults get things really wrong, and sometimes that could happen because adults got taught by their parents and their teachers, and sometimes adults get things very wrong and they think they're right for a long period of time until the truth can be objectively seen, and then the truth is now accepted as the way it is. But in this time, a lot of things have happened where things that haven't been true are now considered true by many adults. And unfortunately for children, sometimes you can't get yourself out of a situation where you have an adult who thinks make-believe is reality, and reality's make-believe, like nature. I mean, it sounds too amazing to be true that it could be this simple, that we have these abilities as human beings to use our energy and our time to leave our imprint on the canvas of life. and we can make that a colorful imprint. Every one of these seeds I'm picking is colorful. So if we're in the Creator's garden, because none of us made this world, and this world doesn't belong to any of us, and in reality, the world does belong to the children, and you're borrowing it from the future generations and your children. So you have to respect it that way and understand that none of us has the right to cause harm to this earth because we didn't create it. But we do have the ability to use our lives and make a difference by adding our color, our style, our imprint to life, but not doing destruction in the meantime. There's nothing I'm doing here today that's destroying any life. As a matter of fact, these seeds are going to feed every person in the local community that chooses to come out and grab food that is organically grown in nature as opposed to going to the store. This whole idea that we have to go to a store to buy food, it helps. It's convenient sometimes, but in reality, all of our food starts out here in nature with the seed. So we can just go out to our gardens, we can go out to our community gardens, and if we're lucky and if we did the work, the food's going to be there. So I don't think I'll ever get any of this food that I'm planting today. It's not about that. It's not for my personal gain. It's for the idea that people coming along someday are going to wish somebody planted some seeds so they could eat. And I'm doing that work today to make sure that there is going to be food here and people don't have to, necessarily go to the store and spend all their hard-earned money to get it. And this is something I planted last time I was here. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I planted so many things, but I planted lettuce and apricots and all these things in here before, carrots and kale. So we got some things growing, and that's a really good sign. So we're just going to continue that. But in the meantime, I wanted to get back to this concept of separating reality from make-believe. So if we know that nature has been here since human beings have been here, and we know that nature has the truth of it's the way that the creator of life intended it to be, and it's brilliant. No energy is ever lost or destroyed in nature. If a tree falls down, it goes into the ground and it becomes nourishment for new life to grow. So even death in nature spawns way for new life and new beautiful life. And these seeds we're planting here today, they're not only meant to feed people, but they're meant to feed the animals, because the animals are a very important part of the circle of life. Not only do they bring us all of our joys, all the, cute little things that animals do, but they are a part of this circle of life, and each one of them plays a role and helps life to continue, whether it's the birds consuming the fruits and seeds, or it's the worms that are in the ground doing the work, breaking down all of the dead material and converting it into nitrogen, which causes things to grow. Every single part of nature has a purpose that makes all of life better for all of us. And that's what we have to remember about being human beings, is we each have a purpose to this greater circle of life. We're a part of this circle of life. We're not separated from it. These animals, they're are part of our family. These trees, these fruits, everything that we see is necessary for life, for us to be here. And in return, we have to do our job and make sure that life thrives wherever we go. So, planting a lemon tree, or as an example, let's just say some of this food I have in here, we're going to have animals eating it, birds eating it. The leftover fruit is going to go into the ground and create more fruit and more vegetables. And not only that, people can take this fruit and seeds and eat them, and take the seeds out and spread them. So even the food that people pick, they could take the seeds and create more life for other people. So this is my little part and what I'm doing every day. It's a daily practice for me. And, actually I forgot the most important part is when I'm out here, before I plant any seeds, I say a prayer, because the creator of life, the land belongs to the creator of life, and Mother Earth is the mother that we all share, the mother that allows all of this beautiful stuff to grow. And Great Spirit is what's in each of our hearts that anchors us to the center of the universe and allows us to speak directly to the creator within and get inspired. That voice we hear in our own minds, our imaginations, are actually when we get inspired by Spirit and the creator of life. So it's very important to activate your imagination and expand your imagination. And if you imagine something, that's something that is given to you to be real, but it doesn't become real just because it's in your imagination. You have to wake up and you have to apply practice in life to make your imagination and dreams come true. So this is where you learn the skills of life. You first use your imagination to know what you want to do with your life, and then you gather the skills by taking the steps to make your imagination a reality. But every single child must activate their imagination and build towards the life of their dreams. It's not the one that's on TV. It's not something your parents can tell you, your grandparents. It's something that you have to find within yourself. And it's once you find it, you'll see that you don't need anybody's help guiding you in life. You just need people to support you on your journey of becoming who you were born to be and what you know in your own heart and mind. So no matter what happens, we were all born with free will. The creator of life gave us this gift of life to make up our own minds and create the life of our own choosing. So it's up to each and every person to make up their mind right and decide, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to be a part of an artificial world that is really make-believe, where you put, you work very hard and you put your money away and nothing ever grows, nothing ever happens, and you actually have less and less? Or do you want to give your energy to a place that has been here since the beginning of time, since human beings have existed, this natural world has existed, and its rates of returns, as explained earlier, and maybe I didn't have all those numbers right, but I just wanted you to use your imagination and just see, what's possible. And we see that seeds multiply in value in nature, and they nourish us, and they make us have a better life and clearer thoughts and a clearer conscience. Each food has an energy, and each food has a specific color for a specific reason. And if you notice, if you look at certain fruits, they look like certain organs inside of your body. And that's because nature is telling you what it's good for. So nature, everything that's true is free of contradictions, and it will show itself in a repetitive pattern. So when we look and realize that there was an intelligence that gave us signals to know what to eat by its color and shape, then we have to realize that this is not random in life. Everything is exact. It's mathematical. That's how our creator works. So we need to be exact with what we do, as the inputs determine the outputs. So if you don't like the results you're getting, you have to try a different approach, and you have to try new inputs and new values to get to different equations. So anyways, I just wanted to give a little inspiration to the children to activate their imagination. Oh, and one last thing about the color of the fruit. So if we look at the sun is pure white light, but if you put it up to a prism, you get all the colors of the rainbow. And that's what happens in nature. All fruit and vegetables have all colors of the rainbow. And that's because we are actually light beings. And when we eat the different colors of fruits and vegetables, we are ingesting the different colors of the rainbow, which is giving us the sun's energy. So one of my practices too is I look in the sun daily, and I know most parents are going to cringe about that, but I've been doing it for 15 years, and I realized that when we look into the sun, it keeps our eyes healthy despite the lies we were told. Remember what I told you about make-believe versus reality? Well, it turns out that the sun is great for our eyes. And if we don't have enough sunlight, our eyes actually get damaged. So in the sunrise every day, I give thanks for life, and I look directly into the sun, and I watch the sun rise. And at night, I do the same thing. I do my martial arts, my meditation, and I look directly into the sun, and I thank the sun for the day and the brilliance it brought to this world and to my life. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought, that nature is our eternal friend. It is the part of life that is always with us and always comforts us. And, so this is our place to go when the world gets too much for us or we feel like it doesn't make sense. Nature always makes sense. So I'm out here just taking in what makes sense, because the world out there with adults is been tricked into make-believe and reality being switched, and they're into this make-believe concept that only other people get to tell us what to do, and we only have to invest our energy in things that don't pay us any returns and waste our lives. So this is a way that no matter what's going on, you can achieve a purpose with your life and be a part of what was meant for you as a child of the creator of life. So thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.